launched through internet. In internet, the whole of book will be available. So it will be helpful for any Ramayana researcher or scholar if they want to understand the Mahabhavas in the light of Ramayana. They can go into it and check. Following this, in every conference ending, we wish to launch the conference proceeding in internet itself, so that it can be available for all at any time. So if you want to know about Samadharma in Ramayana also, various topics based on Samadharma in Ramayana, you can find in internet after this conference. So now we are launching this 5 Mahabhavas in Ramayana. So for that, I request Sri Krishna Kumar ji to come here. And long before, he has done various works related to Ramayana, therefore we are inviting him. Normally this, what to say, some new writers and authors, they start to look at Ramayana in a negative way. Regarding that, he has done several works, and every day he does Ramayana Parayana. Just let him launch this 5 Mahabhavas in Ramayana. Solreda? அவ்வளோதானா? கொஞ்சம் ஸ்லோவாக இருக்கு. சீதாரா வந்துவிட்டோமா? லோட் ஆகிட்டு இருக்கு இல்லையா? சரி. எதில் கிடைக்குங்கிறத வேணால் அனௌன்ஸ் பண்ணுறேடா. எங்கே கிடைக்கும்?
Sitaram, this ebook can be accessed from our webolim.org website. There is a main link in the webolim.org webpage that says Ramayana Conferences, and upon clicking that, there is an option to choose the year of conference. For example, for 2023 theme, if you click on that, there is a button that takes you to that ebook that can be viewed, and it has the full content available for you. Thank you. Sita.
ज्ञानेन आकाशकल्पेन धर्मान्यो गगनोपमान् ज्ञेया भेदेन सम्बुद्धः तं वन्दे द्विपदाम्बरम्. So, in this Samadharma conference, today and tomorrow, my topic is what is not in Valmiki. Valmiki means Valmiki's Ramayana. Unlearn what is not in Valmiki. In fact, for our school, what they say, Motto, yes. Motto itself is unlearn. Okay. So, based on that, the topic also is derived unlearn what is not in Valmiki. Straight away, let us come to the point. There is a very famous book, Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind. This is written by an Israeli researcher, Yuval Noah Harari. It is almost a history of the world. Of course, it is not the history of the world, it deals with the history of the world. It includes both history and archaeology. Let us see, this book's greatness is, this book shows the ancient life. This is a breakthrough. This book is a breakthrough for a reason. The ancient life, that is a tribal life, in so many ways is far, far better than the existing life. And of course, this book also deals with the limitations of tribal life, which are minimal compared to the existing life. Generally, the tribals, according to him, were living happier, were more contented, were, what to say, were more, in fact, healthier. That is how he is perceiving the tribal way of life. So, before entering into this lecture, some 3 paragraphs from his book, let me just read. Just as there is no barrier between humans and other beings, neither is there a strict hierarchy. He is talking about tribal life. Just there is no barrier between humans and other beings, neither is there a strict hierarchy. Non-human entities do not exist merely to provide for the needs of human. The world does not revolve around humans or around any other particular group of beings. First paragraph. Next. When animism was the dominant belief system, please understand what is animism. Animism is to worship the things around, like plants, sunlight, sun, moon, river, sea, water. Okay. Seeing the divine in all these things and honoring these things, worshipping these things, revering these things, Mother Earth, all these things, even language. In fact, some animals like cow, serpent, so on and so forth. So this is called as animism. When animism was the dominant belief system, human norms and values had to take into consideration. And according to Harari, animism was the oldest belief system in human history. Probably before several millennium, maybe before some 10,000 years, all humans were animists. This is what he says. And again, I read the passage. When animism was the dominant belief system, human norms and values had to take into consideration the outlook and interests of a multitude of other beings, such as animals, plants, fairies, and ghosts. For example, a forager band in the Ganges Valley. This is interesting. How this Ganges clicked in his mind, I don't know. When he is talking about animism, naturally Ganges is flowing in his mind. This is interesting, really, because he is not an Indian. He is far away from India, but he is writing like that. A forager band in the Ganges Valley may have established a rule forbidding people to cut down a particularly large fig tree lest the fig tree spirit become angry and take revenge. Another forager band living in the Indus Valley again is not going out of this place. Of course, he definitely says that the whole world was animistic, but when it comes to the example, he takes Ganga and Indus, Sindhu. Another forager band living in the Indus Valley may have forbidden people, white-tailed foxes, because a white-tailed fox once revealed to a wise old woman where the band might find precious obsidian. So this is one passage. The next passage from his book. Hunter-gatherers, please understand, you should understand what is hunter, what is gatherer. Two groups of tribals. Hunters, those who hunt. Okay. Those who are generally non-vegetarians. Gatherers, because the term may appear very understandable, we need to explain it. Gatherers means those are not predominantly non-vegetarian, they gather, okay, they gather the fruits, roots, so on and so forth, and eat. So two groups of people were there among tribes, please understand. It's not the tribes, tribe itself means non-vegetarian, it's not like that. Tribes are of two kinds, we need to understand all this. We have many wrong misconceptions regarding tribes. One among the misconception is tribal is equal to hunter. We can't take like that. Hunters and gatherers, two divisions are there in tribals. Sometimes hunters may go into the group of gatherers. Gatherers also may go into the group of hunters, but there were two divisions. This is very important. Hunter-gatherers picked and pursued wild plants and animals, which could be seen as equal in status to Homo sapiens. The fact that man hunted sheep did not make sheep inferior to man, just as the fact that tigers hunted man did not make man inferior to tigers. Being communicated with one another directly and negotiated the rules governing their shared habitat. In contrast, farmers owned and manipulated plants and animals and could hardly degrade themselves by negotiating with their possessions. Here the farmers means the post-tribal life people, that's all. Don't target farmers alone here. Through the word farmers, he means the post-tribal life people, including us, including all. In fact, farmers are, what can we say? Farmers are cleverer, we can say. Farmers are cleverer than tribals. And the industrial persons are cleverer than farmers. And now existing people, what can we name? Maybe people of information age are cleverer than the industrial people. People of computers are cleverer than the cleverer. I hope you are understanding. More cunning, I'm telling. Okay, yeah. I'm not using it in a positive sense. You can take it in positive sense also. Because this kind of abhyudaya development has come by these cunning people. Okay. And then upcoming probably people of genetic engineering, they can be cleverer and more cunning than these agriculturists, industrialists, and information age people, so on and so forth. So, by the word farmers, we have to take all of them who got converted from tribal life to existing life. It's not just farmers. In fact, farmers are far better than us. We need to understand. Farmers are more innocent than us. And tribals are more innocent than farmers. We need to understand. It's not to curse farmers. Okay. In contrast, farmers owned and manipulated plants and animals and could hardly degrade themselves by negotiating with their possessions. Hence, the first religious effect of the agricultural evolution was to turn plants and animals from equal members of spiritual round table into property. Last line is very important. Hence, the first religious effect of the agricultural evolution was to turn plants and animals from equal members of a spiritual round table into property. So, actually, we were reading these two great literatures, Vedas and Ramayana. And both of the literary works, masterpieces, are highly fascinating. When I read these literary works, I always feel the Vedas and Ramayana are highly profound and highly matured, more profound than any other text, to my knowledge, available both in the world and India. That is how I feel. Okay. I always, we read so many books, but when it comes to Veda and Ramayana, I feel an extraordinary profundity, a kind of maturity hidden in these two texts. That's how I feel. This is my own personal feeling. I was just thinking of what is that kind of maturity which the Veda has? What is the profundity Ramayana has? Okay. But now, when I go through Ramayana, when I go through the Veda, I just started to match this book's thought. Which book? Sapiens. Okay, Sapiens thought with Ramayana or the Veda, then something extraordinary happens. I want to share with you that important finding, I can tell. Okay. MROS here is this full form of MROS. Anyhow, the essay is going to come in internet. Mantras of Rig, Yajus and Saman. Okay. Mantras, please understand. Mantras of Rig, Yajus and Saman. Let me get confined to it. Okay. So, whenever I use the word MROS, you need to understand mantras of Rig, Yajus and Saman. In this, when I go through these mantras, nowhere, this is a sweeping statement, nowhere I could find the human race superiority notion. Let me explain. Nowhere, no mantra proclaims that the human race is superior to any other race of the world. Okay, this is the uniqueness of the Vedic mantras. I can never see anywhere in these Vedic mantras, in MROS, a proclamation that humans are superior to other species and other species are inferior to humans. Okay. Or other species are living for humans. The world is human-centric. Okay. These kinds of ideas are not found in MROS. And please understand, when we go through the book of Harari, we also understand. He says, in the very ancient days, in good old days, the human-centric, human race superiority notion was not existing. Gradually it got developed. Okay, please understand. After its development, as a consequence in few centuries, as its consequence in few centuries, another idea, another notion came in human society. What is that? My clan or my community or my society is superior to another community, another society, or another clan, or another caste or creed. That idea gradually engulfed in human mind. First, he made the animal human hierarchy very stiff. Please understand. He started to see, the human started to see animals or birds or plants as inferior to him, which was not found in the Vedic mantras. And as his further development, you see, even among humans, one group is inferior to another group, one group is superior to another group. That kind of tendency, gradually in several centuries, he started to develop. In fact, this Harari is not talking anything about the Veda here. I am not bringing that aspect of him. He is just a researcher and he sees the world history and archaeology and talks about that, in which he just observes in tribal society there was no human race superiority notion. And when human race superiority notion came as a penalty to that, the next, what can we call evolution? I don't want to call it evolution. As a next development, the human class superiority came. One class among humans is inferior to another class. This idea came into human mind. This is his observation. But when I see this MROS, mantras of Rig, Yajus and Saman, where I never see anywhere a human race superiority notion and also the class superiority or class inferiority notion. Since I never see anywhere, I could only associate the Vedic literature with almost the era which Harari is talking about. That's the idea. Please understand. The question comes to me, is the Veda reflecting, is the mantra of Rig, Yajus and Saman, is that reflecting the society long back which was existing, a prejudice-free society? Does the Veda reflect the prejudice-free society? This question comes to my mind. Now, various different kinds of vicharas came to me. Harari was talking about this thing. The human world long back was totally animistic. When you go to this Vedic mantras of Rig, Yajus and Saman, the whole of Vedic mantra again is animistic, predominantly animistic. It talks about rivers, Saraswati, Ganga, Sindhu. It talks about the worship of plants and trees, vanaspatis. It talks about furrow, not just talking about, it sees furrow as a devata. Agricultural land, plowing land as a devata. What is furrow's name? Yes, Sita. And it talks about the devata, it sees devata, the divinity, in various animals too. There are chapters for cows, there are chapters even for dogs. Sarama, Indra's dog, Indra's hound, Yama's hound. And there are chapters for mortar and ulukhala, which is crushing the plant. Chapters for various suktas, chapter means sukta. Suktas for these things. So, definitely we can call the Vedic mantras are predominantly animistic. And worship of sun, moon. This is how the whole of the Veda is running. So God is around here. He is not just above. Okay. He is also above. Please understand. He is also above. It's not that he is not above. கடந்தும் உள்ளும் இருக்கிறார் கடவுள். Okay. He is within. God is within. God is above. God is around. That kind of concept we can see in the Veda. So can we say, because Harari is telling the tribal society was animistic, can we say the Vedic literature is reflecting totally a tribal society? We can't tell like that, because Veda has agriculture. Veda talks here and there about agriculture, plowing and all, and cooked food and all. So Vedic society, we can take it as a semi-agricultural society. And we can't neither call it as a very huge, full-fledged, full-formed agriculture, because it doesn't talk about landowners who have 50 to 60 acres of land, ruling various farmers under him, and strict hierarchies in agriculture. Vedas don't have all these things. Humans had some lands and plowed. If they don't want, they throw that land and go to another land. They take as they wish. Nobody was there to question. If they want, they can take some land and they owned it and they plowed it. If they don't want, they throw it and go to some other place. Something like, say, Rama went to Panchavati and built a hut. Nobody is there to ask, why are you building here this hut? This is government's land. You have to get a DC conversion. That idea is not there. Like that, people, even in Ramayana, if you see like that, and take the Veda. So we can't call it as full-fledged agricultural society also. Of course, the Veda talks about Rajanyas. And on seeing the word Rajanya, we definitely understand Veda has the concept of leader, chief. Okay. He may not be a very great king or emperor. Emperor, like Veda is not talking about emperors. Please understand. From that light only we should see everything. Dasarajanya war, all these things. We can't take all these things to be very great fight like Mahabharata. We can't take like that. Please understand. Rajanyas are small chiefs. Okay. And among the Rajanyas, there appears to be a democratic element when we go through these words of the Veda. Vishastva sarva vanchantu matvad rashtram atibrashat. This is from the 10th mandala, 173rd Sukta, the first mantra. Vishastva sarva vanchantu. May all the people love you, so that you will not lose your rulership. What does it convey? If people start to hate you, you will lose your rulership. So these passages, we see in these passages democratic element. I'm not telling in Rig Veda there was democracy what we find now. Okay. Elections were held everywhere, and for elections people were bribed. I don't think this kind of democracy was found in the Rig Veda. But Rig Veda has, why Rig Veda? You go even chimpanzees have democracy. When you go through the archaeological finding, chimpanzees even up to our times have democracy. In chimpanzee groups, the strongest chimpanzee is not the leader. He will be calmed. Sometimes he will be thrown out. The chimpanzee which loves all chimpanzees, which engage all chimpanzees, which entertain all chimpanzees, that kind of chimpanzee alone is taken as a chief or leader. This is a kind of democracy. So we need not think that humans started democracy. Where democracy started really? Was it from Europe or from Greece? Because Socrates defined a democracy. Or from India because King Dasharatha is bringing all people and asking, can I coronate my son? Where democracy started? My humble answer is, democracy, since we find in chimpanzees also, we can't tell it started from sapiens. Okay. Coming back to the point. Here, Rigveda has this democracy. Vishasva sarva vanchantu. May the people love you so that your kingdom, so that you should not lose your governance or rulership. This is a very important point. And another very, very important observation regarding Rigveda. I don't know, before us, anybody dealt with that. It's not only with the Rigveda, this is with, what is it? MRYS, Mantras of Rig, Yajus and Saman. What is that? Probably, I'm not accurately telling, around 26,000 lines are there in MRYS. In all these 26,000 lines, nowhere, this is again a sweeping statement, nowhere you can see the name of any village or town or city. It's a very important thing. Somebody had presented a Rigvedic geography. I have forgotten his name. In some book, Rivers of Rigveda, I think. Sanjeev Sanyal, maybe, yeah. In that book, he has given the Rigvedic geography picture. The whole picture has only the names of the rivers. No name of any city or village or state or kingdom or. Okay, please understand. The Veda, that means MRYS, okay. MRYS contains the names definitely of rivers, which means Veda tends to give the proper nouns. I don't take that Veda never gives proper noun at all. Veda has proper nouns of rivers, Saraswati, Ganga, Sindhu, Yamuna, Sarayu. Okay. And there is one word, Sharyanavat, in 2 or 3 places. Commentator takes it to be a name of a mountain. So let us accept it. The Veda also contains the name of a mountain. We understand. But there is no proper noun of any city or village or town or state or kingdom. There is no Angadesha, Ingadesha. There is no Vangadesha, Kosaladesha in the Veda. I am talking about MRYS. Okay. That idea doesn't exist. What does it mean? It is reflecting a society. If I tell this, you may resist or you may not get convinced in the beginning. It reflects a society when these cities, villages, so on and so forth, were not named. Were not named. Naming the society, naming the village, naming the state, all these things can come only when you attach the notion of ownership to it. If they have been already named, definitely these names would have come in the Vedic mantras, because reverse names are coming. It's not that Vedic style is not to use the proper noun at all. Since the reverse names are coming, since the mountain names are coming, naturally city names and village names also can come. Why they are not available in the Veda? It clearly shows the ownership, the notion of ownership is not fixed, so that the things were not named, the boundaries were not very clear, concretized. The boundaries can come only when the notion of ownership starts to exist. And the notion of ownership, since it did not come, these villages and towns and cities are not named. This is very interesting observation. See, the Vedic mantras are not just a small book like Hanuman Chalisa or Vishnu Sahasranama. Someone may ask, even in Vishnu Sahasranama, no name of a city or village comes. That is why I am telling, the Vedic mantras contain at least 26,000 lines. Okay? Among the 26,000 lines, if you don't have all 26,000 lines talks a lot about society, lot about people, lot about the things used by the people. Please understand. And it talks about the names of the rivers. Having all these things, if the Vedic mantras are not talking about the names, the epithets of city or town, it clearly shows that these cities and villages are not named at all. Just for a deviation, I want to crack a joke. It goes in this way. A small boy, a mischievous boy, what he does is, teacher is asking, name the cities of India. The boy stood up and said, name some cities of India. The boy stood up and said, ma'am, they have been already named. Okay. Coming back to the point, this notion of ownership regarding the land must be very, very minimal in the Vedic society. And about that kind of society, Mahabharata also talks. In Shanti Parva, Mahabharata clearly mentions several times, and even in Adi Parva it mentions, in Krita Yuga, which is taken by the ideal Yuga in Mahabharata and all other literary works of Hindu scriptures. In Krita Yuga, ownership notion was very, very, very minimal. This is what they say. So this matches with the Rigvedic or Vedic mantras. Now let me take some misconceptions. I'm not going into detail of it. There are some scholars who want to show Veda as having high prejudices. Okay. They show, some leftist scholars, they show Veda as the foundation of prejudices, foundation of all the caste creed problems. That is what they paint. So I have dealt with this much in my book, that is Veda, My Passion. In the beginning 40 pages I have dealt. Therefore, that is not my topic here. I have to go to Ramayana. I have to move to Ramayana. Before that, I am giving just a glimpse of Veda, Veda Parichaya. So just with a few words, I will move to Ramayana. Say, there are some malicious misunderstandings, deliberately or non-deliberately created. Point number one, the word dasyu. Say, there are some words which are negative in the Veda. Say, dasyu, vala, vritra, so on and so forth. These negative words, unfortunately, were taken by the European interpreters as the Indian aborigines. This is malicious. Whatever Europeans did in Australia and the USA or American continent, not USA. They went there, they destroyed aborigines. They established their rule. The same Europeans, when they came to India, when they read Rigvedic passages, when they see Indra killing Dasyus, Indra killing Vrutras and Valas, they came to the conclusion that Indra must be the foreign invader, Dasyus, Valas and Vrutras must be the Indian aborigines. Okay. And later, the terms like Dasyus, Valas and Vrutras, they are taken to be Dravidians. And Indra, Ashwins, Varuna, Vayu, Yama, they are taken to be Aryans. Again, there is no proper definition for Aryan and Dravidian. Sometimes Brahmins are taken to be Aryans, all non-Brahmins are taken to be Dravidians. Sometimes Brahmin and Kshatriya are taken to be Aryans. And Vaishya and Shudra are taken to be Dravidians. Sometimes Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya taken to be Aryans. Shudras are taken to be Dravidians. Some other time North Indians are taken to be Aryans and South Indians are taken to be Dravidians. Sometimes Tamilians alone are taken to be Dravidians. All others are Aryans. Okay. Sometimes Singhalites are taken to be Aryans. Okay. And if you go to a Singhalite and ask what is Ravana, he is trained to tell that Ravana is an Aryan. The same British who trained Tamilians to talk, not all Tamilians, I'm just telling about some radical, okay, who trained some radical persons in Tamil Nadu to talk that Ravana is a Dravidian. The same British, while ruling Singhalites, they trained some radical Singhalites to tell that Ravana is a Aryan. Okay. This is opportunism. Wherever, whatever is, what to say, whatever is helpful to them, helpful to the invaders, with that they concoct the history. History is his story, conqueror's story. Okay. But when we go through the Vedic literature, the words like Dasyu or Vala or Vrutra, you can never prove anywhere that they were aborigines. Indra, Varuna, Agni, they are the foreign invaders. You can never prove that. And when you go through the meaning of Dasyu in any Sanskrit dictionary or any Sanskrit literature, Dasyu means a thief, robber. Anybody understands it? Any Ramayana student can tell that. In Ramarajya, Valmiki says, Nirdasyur abhavatu lokaha. Ramarajya is devoid of Dasyus. Means Ramarajya is devoid of thieves. It doesn't mean Ramarajya is devoid of Dravidians and all. Okay, you can't take in that way. Probably Britishers may take in that way. Okay, Nirdasyur abhavatu lokaha. They may interpret in that way also. Dasyubhihi vipralupyantam. You see the usage of the word Dasyu in Ramayana and Mahabharata, you can understand. It's the same kind of usage is there in the Veda. Unfortunately, the great scholars also, whom we revere a lot, they also were carried away by these kinds of British interpretations sometimes. Say, like such a great scholar, P.V. Kane, okay, whom we revere a lot. He, in his book History of Dharma Shastra, which is nearly objective, okay, there he writes, the Vedic Dasyu may be Vedic Dasyu or Vala or Vrutra may be the later Shudra of Smritis. That is how he is carried away by the British interpretation of the Vrutra or Dasyu, which is totally wrong. Dasyus are not a community, please understand. I may look different, but I observe in this way. Even many pro-Hindu writers and those who look Veda in positive light write, Dasyus are a community, Valas are a community, Vrutras are a community. But they are not communities in the Veda. Vedas had several communities. Every day we chant about those communities. Kulalebhyascha vo namaha, Karmarebhyascha vo namaha. This is something different. Dasyu means a thief. Vala means one who covers, again a thief. In Tamil also we call as Valai. Okay. Vala. Vrutra. Vrutra means again a covering. Avarana. That is how Yaska interprets Vrutra. Okay. It's Avarana, adjunct. See, these, so Indra broke Vritra, which means Indra broke adjuncts. That's the meaning. And in fact, most of the parts of Vedic literature, we come across the word Vritra is used in plural. That too in neutral gender. Vritrani, Agnihi Vritrani Janganat. That is how it comes. Vritrani. It comes as Vritrani. So these things have to be understood from Vedic perspective. You need not take them as communities. Neither they are aborigines nor they are separate communities. Please understand. Let me come to the next point. Purusha Sukta is a very popular thing. See, I have to go to Ramayana, but before this. Purusha Sukta occurs in the 10th mandala, 90th Sukta, 12th. Okay, 90th Sukta. There the 12th mantra, Brahmanosya Mukhamasit, Bahu Rajanya Kritaha, Uru Tadasyed Vaishyaha, Padbhyagam Shudraha Ajayate. Padbhyam Shudraha Ajayate. Okay. This has become very popular to show that the Veda puts Shudra down. Okay. And Dr. Ambedkar, in his book Who Are Shudras, he popularized this mantra, giving extreme importance to this mantra, over importance to this mantra, telling that since this mantra is coming, Manusmriti has proclaimed Veda is the highest authority. I am wondering. Since this mantra comes, Manusmriti proclaims that the Veda is greatest pramana for Dharma. This is very interesting. I'm surprised with this statement. And he gives every word's meaning of this mantra, not only in one paragraph or two paragraphs. He writes several essays regarding this mantra, giving various interpretations. Aham Vedmi Mahatmanam, for which Periyachambali wrote several pages of interpretation. Like that, he enjoys this mantra, Brahmanosya Mukhamasit. And I think he must be the person who must have given the huge importance and the largest interpretation for this mantra. Okay, fine, let it be so. But even that, he only popularized it, please understand. He only popularized this mantra, showing that this mantra is the foundation of all ill-treatment, whatever is happening here. Okay, in the name of caste or creed. What does this mantra say? This mantra says, Brahmana is the face of Purusha, the cosmic being. Kshatriya, the arms. Vaishya, the thighs. And Shudra, the foot. This is what the mantra says. Interestingly, the one who popularized this mantra and established that this mantra is the base of all ill treatments, the same person, the same Dr. Ambedkar, wonders how this mantra can come in Rigveda. Because nowhere in Rigveda I see this kind of ill treatment. And everywhere in Rigveda, I can see, I could have read his own passage, I did not bring it here. The peaceful coexistence of all jobs and careers, this is what he says. Rigvedic people, Rigvedic society was matured enough to have the peaceful coexistence of all careers together. All careers people, all community people living together happily. This is what I see in Rigvedic society. Yet how this mantra can occur in Rigveda at all? And he also further says, for this reason, this mantra has to be a later addition. This mantra has to be an interpolation in Rigveda, also in Purusha Sukta. This is what the same Dr. Ambedkar is telling. Of course, I don't see in that way. I'm just presenting what Ambedkar says, that's all. I don't see in that way. But one thing has to be understood. I perceive in this way. We need to understand this. He is also presenting the Purusha Sukta found in Yajurveda and also Atharva Veda. Ambedkar presents both. But very, very important thing is, many scholars don't notice that Purusha Sukta found in Samaveda. Okay. Purusha Sukta found in Samaveda doesn't have this mantra, point number one. A very, very important thing. And Rigvedic 10th mandala, okay, it is not coming in Rigvedic 2nd or 3rd or 4th mandala. Rigvedic 10th mandala, which has this Purusha Sukta, of course, we need to understand, we need to first recognize, Samavedic Purusha Sukta doesn't have this mantra, this Brahmanosya Mukhamasita mantra. Only the 10th mandala of Rigveda has this mantra. This has to be understood, point number one. Let me come to the second point. See, Rigvedic Purusha Sukta is from the 10th mandala, 90th Sukta. Just before two Suktas, 87th Sukta, Rigvedic 87th Sukta, there is a mantra, is from the 10th mantra, Moolam Yatudanasya Vrascha. This is a mantra. Enapa? Treda Moolam. Treda Moolam Yatudanasya Vrascha. There Sayana comments, Moolam means feet. Please understand, in Vedic literature, in several places, Moolam means feet. Feet means Moolam, both. Please understand, in the Rigveda or in the any Veda, every limb is a symbol of some concept. Hand is a symbol of some action. Like that it goes. And the feet is a symbol of movement. ஞாபகம் இருக்காப்பா? எந்த அங்கம் எந்த கான்செப்டினுடைய சிம்பல் அப்படின்னு ரிக்வேதத்தில் ஒரு சூக்தமே இருக்கு. There is a suktam dedicated in Rigveda which says which anga is the symbol of what concept. Any Rigveda student சொல்றேடா? இன்னொரு மைக் இருக்கா? டக்குனு அந்த மந்திரம் ஞாபகம் இல்லை எனக்கு. Do you have any other mic or I can give this mic? Today I did not plan to tell about this mantra, but it's coming anyhow. And the whole sukta you need not chant. And the charanam வர இடம் இருக்கு இல்லையா, அதுக்கு கொஞ்சம் முன்னாடி மந்திரம் அது மாதிரி பார்த்துக்கலாம்.
ஓம் ஸ்ரீ குருப்யோ நமः ஹரிः ஓம் ஓஷ்டாவிவமத்வாஸ்தி வாதே விவசன்வோ ரக்ஷிதாராகர்ணா விவசுஷ்ருதா பூதமஸ்மே ஹஸ்தாவிவசம் வேஷவிஷ்டாபாதே வனோ நயதம் வஸ்யோ அச்ச.
போறோம் மறுபடியும் சொல்லுங்க, அதை மீனிங் சொல்றேன்.
வாதேவமத்வாஸ்னே வதந்தாஸ்தனா விபிப்யதன் ஜீவசேனஹ.
முன்னாடி சொன்ன மந்திரத்தையே சொல்லுங்க.
ஹஸ்தாவிவசன் வேஷவிஷ்டாபாதே தன்வே சம்பவிஷ்டாபாதே.
ஹஸ்தாவிவ தன்வே சம்பவிஷ்டா. The Sukta is about Ashwini Kumaras, Ashwins, okay, which talk about how Ashwins are doing welfare like our several limbs, in which Ashwins work for our welfare like hands. So, hands' job is to work. Then,
पादेव नो नयतं वस्यो अच्छ
Padeva no nayatam vasyo accha. Pada is foot. Okay, foot represents nayatam, taking. Okay, taking us further. See the symbol of the pada. What is the meaning of that pada? Next.
ओष्ठाविव मध्वा स्नेवदन्
Oshta viva madhva. Oshta means lips. Lips represent sweet words. Okay. Like that, the whole sukta is dedicated for then
स्तनाविव पिप्यतं जीवसेनः
sthana iva pipyatam jivasenaha. May Ashwins bless us, shower us for our life like breast. So like this, the whole sukta, in the whole sukta you can find the every limb's concept behind the limb. So here in this context, when we go through padeva nayatam, liya. So foot represent taking or leading or moving. That idea we can get from this mantra. Dhanyawad. குழந்தைகள்கிட்ட நான் முன்னாடி சொல்லவும் சொல்லலை, அதனால கொஞ்சம் சிரமப்பட்டுட்டா. ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ண சொல்லியிருந்தா நான் சொல்லியிருப்பான். ஃபைன். பாதாவிவ நயத்தம் இருக்கட்டும். Like the feet. So what feet represents? Movement, taking us further. That is one meaning of feet. In our commentary itself, commentary starts like Vedena Vedo Vigyayaha. Vedic passages have to be understood by the Vedic passages themselves. So in that sense, now we understand what is the meaning of the foot. Second meaning, Moolam, Treda Moolam Yatu Dhanasya Vrascha. Moolam means foundation. Of course, Treda Moolam Yatu Dhanasya Vrascha, the 10th mandala, 87th sukta is a very unfamiliar mantra. There is a very popular expression in all our Vedic rituals. When we are performing Vedic rituals, the priests ask us to do this with the darba grass. Moolam agram madhyam, agram moolam madhyam, agram moolam madhyam. What's the meaning of moolam there? Moolam means foundation. Moolam is base. Okay. So, Padbyam Shudraha Ajayata. Here we need to understand base. Okay, Brahmanosya Mukhamasit means Brahmana represents teaching. Bahu Rajanya Kritaha. Rajanya represents arms. Arms means the what to say? Defense. Okay. Vaishya represents business, and business is the center of society. Vartayam samsritastate loko hi sukhamedhate. So business is the center of society, therefore they are thighs. And Shudra is moolam. Shudra is the foundation. Shudra is the base. Feet. So he is called as feet, point number 1. Point number 2, he takes the society further. For that reason also, charana viva nayatam. For that reason also, he is taken to be charana, feet. These are, and very important thing is, as the Veda doesn't have any prejudice regarding any community or class, no prejudice is found regarding human race. We are seeing all these things. In the same way, in the Veda, we don't see any prejudice regarding the human limbs. Hand is greater than leg. Leg is inferior to head. And this is inferior limb. That kind of prejudices came long after the Veda. Please understand this. So we can't associate all these kinds of prejudices with the Veda. In our society, we may think leg to be inferior to head. But the Vedic people did not perceive in that way. as any community or any person, here only person, Brahmanaha asya mukam asit, Bahu Rajanyaha, doesn't even talk about community, it talks about a person. Rajanya is a person, Brahmana is a person, Vaishya is a person. Any community has, or a person has a part, a vital part in this society. Society itself is seen as a Purusha, a cosmic being. In that cosmic being, all these are parts. All these are parts. With all these parts only, with all the parts, the human body is functioning. In the same way, with all these humans and their contributions, the society is functioning. Only to show that, Purusha Sukta shows Brahmana as face, Kshatriya as Rajanya as arms, and Shudra as foot. Foot was, in the Vedic life, in the Vedic society, foot was never considered to be inferior at all. If you want another example, among ashramas, sannyasins are taken to be foot. This itself is enough to show you how they are not inferior. That is why sannyasins are called as Sri Charanas. In Tamil, they are called as Adihal. Ramalinga Adihal, they say. Adihal, Sri Charanas, this kind of expression. Why it comes? Because they are the foot. Again, foot means the base. And again, the foot means the movement. That we have to understand in this way. So, such and such things are dealt in Vedamai Passion for first 40 pages. Okay. To remove the misconceptions, how Veda is wrongly interpreted, misinterpreted, to show Veda has become the foundation of all evils. That is how some scholars or some researchers are showing. To demolish it, around some 40 pages are dedicated in Vedamai Passion in the beginning. Okay, fine. So, anyhow, in the Veda, you don't see prejudices that we have dealt today. Can these kinds of prejudices be found in Ramayana? That question comes, because definitely Ramayana is more urbanized. Ramayana society is more urbanized than Vedic society. And we see in history, more the society gets urbanized. This is another observation. More it starts to contain hierarchies, more it starts to contain, due to the rigid hierarchies, the prejudices also. That kind of feels notions of human superiority, animal inferiority, and the human class superiority, all these things start to engulf. And Ramayana is definitely more and more urbanized. Ramayana society is definitely more and more urbanized than Vedic society. In the Veda, we see only, as I said, a semi-agricultural, village-like society. Hardly there is a mention of some urbanized kind of thing, like, 1,000-pillared Mantapa of Varuna. I see 1,000-pillared Mantapa of Varuna in the space. There is a mantra in Rigveda, except that I never see anywhere in the Rigveda the trace of urbanization at all. Please understand. Okay. So, since Ramayana has urbanization, we may expect rigid hierarchies and prejudices and a strong human race superiority notion or human class inferiority notion. These things have to be found in Ramayana. That we may think, but let us see, are they found in Ramayana, or do they have a place in the epic of Valmiki? About that, tomorrow we will see. Jai Sitaram.